Generally, when you go for an interview, they are looking at two pieces in you. Half of the interview is going to focus on what we call hard skills. The other half of the interview is going to be on soft skills. So, what are the difference between the two? Because, in my opinion and in my experience, both of them have almost 50% effect on your qualification in an interview. So, what is the hard skills? Hard skills are related to your skills and experience that is related to the job requirements. If you're a software engineer, if you are in healthcare, if you are in accounting, what are the requirements to qualify you for that role that is required? It's a part of the requirement. Now, in my many years of talking to the candidates before and after interview, what I have learned is that I've seen people who have 90% of the requirement, they go to an interview, but they never get the job. On the other hand, people who have much less relevant hard skill experience, they go to an interview and they get the job. So what did they do different? That's where the soft skills come to play a big role. And soft skills we're referring to your personality, your culture, the chemistry, and in the heart of it, your character. And that is the biggest piece in an interview. In other words, if they ask me, what is your biggest strength? What is your biggest contribution to my company? What will you bring in that differentiates you from everybody else in the lobby? The answer to that question is in the heart of soft skills, which is your character. And when we talk about character, we're talking about your integrity, your honesty, your ethics. So remember, your strength, when they ask you, what's your biggest strength? It happens in the heart of your character, your integrity. I live my life with the highest standard of integrity, ethics, and honesty, and that is going to be my biggest contribution to your company. As far as weaknesses, listen, whoever created that question, well, give me two or three weaknesses. Translation, give me two or three reasons so I can knock you out of the process. So you have to be, again, very strategic in not bringing things, especially personal, especially things that are not going to help you to land the job. Now, I'm not saying to lie. I'm not saying to go on and say things that, it's not true, but a smart person in an interview doesn't give reason to the other side to disqualify them. Sometimes people say things like, my wife, my fiance, feels I spend more time, at work than I spend with her. Ha 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 ha. Or my biggest fear or my biggest weakness is I wish I could stand, in front of a football stadium and talk in front of 50,000 people. Is that a weakness? Yes. But is it going to affect the job? Probably not. So you could be truthful, but don't say something that would disqualify you as a weakness for the job.